Imagine a flying simulator, but this time it's real. I will not like trying to look like an expert in drones. I'm actually pretty new to them. And I mostly jumped in because of the Antigravity A1. Because as a VR person, I was absolutely fascinated by the possibility to actually feel like flying in VR. But this time, in actual reality. I learned a lot about this thing, and since then I actually added the Avata 360 from DJI. And while I'm not gonna focus just on tech on them, as there are multiple channels to better experience than me with drones, I thought it would be very nice to compare them with the eyes of the person that created his own life on YouTube based on immersion and immersive tech. As a person that wanted to learn to fly, looking more for the experience with these things than the actual tool. So well, let's buckle up and let's compare the two most immersive drones on the market right now. So which one is the best to get? Let's get into it. Oh, they're awesome, by the way. Oh, by the way, this video is actually sponsored by Antigravity. They actually provided the drone. I would never got into drones if it wasn't for them. But as always, this will be completely unbiased and honest review. They just said like, you do you, and that's it. See how it goes. So what are these? What makes them special? These are 360 drones, so they have two major perks. The ability to record, you guessed it, in full 360, so 360 degrees, all around you, and then decide your actual shots in post. And that is super powerful. As you can see, both these clips were actually made in the same exact moment, but you just have unlimited angles. And the thing that I like the most, the ability to fly and actually look around you, feeling like flying for real, getting also some vertigo. Now me, don't suffer for vertigos. But why so immersive compared to what we had before? FPV drones are nothing new, right? Right, but FPV drones have a fixated view. So well, you see what you record and what's just in front of you, feeling less natural and well, less immersive. And because we see everything through the cameras, it seems to be a good moment to actually talk about them. Cameras. The Avata 360 has a 1.1 inches sensor and records up to 8K 60 in 10-bit, 1 billion colors. And that's D-Log M to then do color grading. While the A1 has a 1.28 inches sensor, records up to 8K 30, 8-bit. That is around 16 million colors. I just said that I wasn't going to be technical. Well, but let me show you a bit with some Ligurian coastline. You know, Cinque Terre, Portofino, that area. On the Avata 360, but the stitching, so the ability to glue together the two camera views, being two 180 cameras on top and the bottom, is actually much better on the A1. That, by the way, uses the Insta360 cameras on it with all their native software. And yeah, I don't know if you know it already, it's very big. They have a lot of experience with 360 view. So yeah, pick your poison, I guess. But let's talk about software. By the way, the particular thing about these drones is the fact that when you record, you will have to edit and decide your shots in post. And both of them come pretty equipped here. The A1 has the full experience of the Insta brand, as we said, as you can use their multiple software, free to use and super easy, and with also very cool transitions. The ability to use AI to edit, to make it much faster. Manual framing, every zoom option is quite awesome, to be honest, to have such a possibility when shooting with these things. And you can do it directly on your phone or on your PC. Similar thing is for the Avata 360, but the software here feels a bit more limited, let's say. Probably because they have less experience with all the 360 cameras. The advantage though is having the log M profile, so you can color grade in post, retaining a bit more details in the shadows and better contrast. But it's something that you'll do mostly just for professional shots, as that will make the edit part much longer. I'm actually using both of these with the full immersive kits that so far is the only option for the A1 that comes with the goggle, controllers, drones, 3 batteries, blade replacement, landing pad, etc. And the Avata 360 Combo Fly that comes with the visor, 3 batteries, drone blade replacement, controller, landing pad. So yeah, it's a similar situation. Just bear in mind that you can actually get the Avata 360 by itself and use it with all the different controllers and accessories that you have in the DJI ecosystem. But in this video, I will compare the two kits, so just a very comparable offering. But enough of the boring stuff, let's get these things flying and let's see what's experienced there. Both of these will have a similar way of flying. You put your HMD on, turn on the controllers and drone. As far as commands with the DJI, you have the FPV mode to actually control it using, of course, the motion controller. So to yaw, you actually turn around your controller. Or when you go up and down with the pitch, as you can see, and you can go with the trigger back and forth because it also has a reverse. On top of that, you also have a stick to actually scroll left and right. That's getting close to me. Or pitch up and down. There we go. It takes a bit of practice, but then it feels like flying with an actual HOTAS. By the way, if you want to simulate the HOTAS feeling, this is some VR tip, by the way. I've been using the ProTAS from ProTube, and it's actually made for the Quest controllers, but it fits perfectly also with the Antigravity and the Avata controller. You stick it to a table or strap it to a chair, and then it's immersion overload because you actually have an actual HOTAS in your hand, giving you resistance every time and making more immersive and precise. I'll leave the link below if you're interested, but yeah. Life-changing. With the A1, instead you have two ways of control it. Free motion mode, where pretty much you aim at where you want to go, and that is going to go in that direction. And then you have this wheel to actually yaw. Here we go. And you can go up and down with these two buttons. Or what's actually my favorite, the FPV mode, where again, you use the controller like a HOTAS, like turning to actually do the yaw and the pitch up and down. It's pretty cool that you have this little plane in the middle that shows you the movements of the drone. Is actually super, super handy. The free motion is for sure the easier one, but also maybe a bit more limited. I just hope there was a way to actually make it a default. Right, anti-gravity? Just a little tip from a VR person when using goggles outside, that's something that you will probably do most of the time with drones, is that the lenses are magnified. So you don't want the sun to get in because it could, and it will, burn the actual screen and make them completely unusable. Fly safe. How is it flying them though? Awesome, of course. They're both super stable in the air, both are fast and fun. The system though to fly them couldn't be more different. It's like one is a Scandinavian IKEA home with minimal and essential stuff, and the other one, well, it's a rich mansion with all the functionalities you need and also the one that you need but you want to have. I like flying the DJI quite a lot. I think it's a great drone, but it's not a great flying experience. Let me explain. The interface is very barebone when wearing the HMD. The visuals are good and crisp, and you can choose to have FPV view or 360 or tracking people or objects, and that's pretty much it. Everything you need to use it as the tool. Everything else is up to the pilot. The problem for me is that there's a bit of delay looking around, turning your head. So it's easier to get motion sickness and actually lose your orientation a bit, as there's just a little symbol to actually show it. Because yeah, you will look around, but the drone will stay, of course, in its position. Though it has a very strong video transmission. Again, it gets the job done, but you can tell that it's their first 360 drone. In this case, the one instead, well, feels like flying at Flight Simulator. I just missed the lasers, but I guess it might arrive in the next update. But here you have an HUD that feels straight up from a game. A full dashboard with options, maps, modes, settings, all on the flight, and even the ability to play games, getting gem and cool cockpits to add. Like there's a World War II plane with all the dashboards adapted to the drone, and even the stick will move around. It's pretty cool. Or you can be a dragon or like Harry Potter, but those obviously don't have coaches. Not really, it's just so fun sometimes to just fly this thing like a video game. There's really no perceivable delay when actually looking around and moving your head, so it's not that easy to get sick. But I notice a bit more hiccups when it comes to video transmission this time. Also, you can put a little paper plane in the middle to help you with the orientation, and that makes you see the movement of the drone. It gets, of course, the job done and fills you with joy while doing that. So yeah, utilitarian versus, well, fun. And you can kind of see it from the drone themselves. The A1 is very portable with the smallest battery is around 249 degrees, so under the 250 degrees. So in many places you don't need any license to actually fly it. It folds, as you can see, has a very cool landing gears to protect the cameras, while the Avata 360, well, is kind of more heavy duty at 455 grams. It doesn't fold, so it's a bit harder to bring around, but it has the protection for the blade, so it feels a bit safer indoor. I could actually bring the pear juice to my son, or at least trying. Yeah, that didn't end up well, without worrying so much. Yeah, that left a mark. While the A1 will not accept any load. The Avata 360 is also much louder while flying, way louder. There's no discrete flying with it, while the A1 feels more like a loud, very loud big bug. As frequencies, they are completely different. One is lower frequency, one is screeching, let's say. And I don't know if it's the sound of the color, but I found myself getting attacked by seagulls more often with actually the Avata 360. They even pooped on it while flying. They're better than Halo 2 Jackal snipers. While I didn't have any number 2 accidents with the A1. Is it a win? Very quick about the batteries while flying. The Avata 360 has 2700 mAh batteries, and unfortunately they don't last very long, as I was getting around 15 to 16 minutes flying. Luckily, I have the 3 batteries in the kit with the charger, super useful. Instead, the A1 actually has 2 different kind of batteries. I have the high capacity ones. They're still much smaller and I get around 34 minutes with them. Just bear in mind though that with the higher capacity, the drone will get over the 250 grams, so you're gonna start to need licenses and stuff like that. But the smaller batteries should last around 20 minutes. And the big one is not that bad for something that potentially can fly around 10 kilometers away. I didn't try the distance though. I'm quite scared. But hey, we are a VR channel, so let's talk about the goggles, shall we? And well, here, there's not really a competition. The DJI N3 are big and bulky with 2 1080p screens and what I believe being Burbath optics. So yeah, they feel like AR glasses. The FOV is quite limited. I think it's around 45-50 degrees and it feels like looking to a giant monitor in front of you. They're crisp though. They have a battery in the back to balance them out. Not the most comfortable thing, but you can fit the glasses in there. But yeah, they get the job done, I guess. They also have a lot of buttons, but I didn't find myself using them at all. The A1 instead feel more like a modern VR headset. They're light at 340 grams. As comfort, well, they both will not win awards. They actually split the battery by a 3D printed an adapter to put it in the back over here. That helps a bit. They have 2 2560 by 2560 Micro-OLED displays in there running at 72 Hz and with custom Pancake lenses with an FOV of around 93 degrees. It feels like I'm doing a True Lenses video right now. So yeah, flying with this thing makes it automatically more immersive. I know that it feels dumb, but it starts to feel like you're actually in there instead of just looking at the view from it. They have diopters turning these wheels, less 5 to plus 2, and they have independent IPD adjustment from 58 to 72. Also, this is pretty cool. Let me show you. They have an external screen over here, some LEDs. They can be used for fun. For example, here showing a little cat, or even to show you what you're looking at to people around you. And trust me, with a small kid around, that's all you need. But also usability-wise, for example, when you update and such, you'll see the update bar over here, so you don't have to wear it all the time to check in. Pretty cool. They have a camera for pass-through, black and white. Not the best though, let's be honest, but serviceable, and they feel like an entire platform. These are the actual core of the experience with the A1. I'll talk more about this in my full review about the A1, but just know that this is totally another thing, like another vision. By the way, to learn to fly, they both have their own training applications, but while the DJI is actually on the phone, with the Antigravity you can actually train completely in VR. Feels like using a Quest sometimes, but then you realize that you're actually flying in reality. And I think that's really the point of the comparison over here. While they're both 360 drones, they're much different than what you would expect. Like a different vision completely. If you use the drone for work, I think that the log files from the Avata 360 might be the big reason to want it. Juice delivery and indoor flying aside, of course. I think that the A1 just gives you a better experience. A way to feel like flying for real. It might sound weird, but you feel more connected, like you're there. I will follow up with a video just about the A1 in the next days because there's so much to talk about it. And by the way, because I'm in contact with Antigravity, I actually asked if it was possible to have any discount or something like that. And they're actually offering a free lens replacement kit. This is actually something very useful because if you let friends use it, well, you will scratch the lenses of these drones. Mine actually got the scratch already and I had to use it. That is valued at $30, I believe, and it's gonna be free if you use the link in the description below. Cheers. Am I regretting getting the Avata 360? Not completely, still a great drone. But if you can spend the $400 difference, well, trust me, you're in for the experience. It's well worth it. Overall though, what do you value the most? The more professional video recording or the feeling of flying? I just know that these things actually made me a drone lover. I couldn't care even a franc before. And now I can wait for my daily flight every day after work. Right, let me know what you think about it in the comments below, and I hope this thing helped. Links below to everything, and as always, if you liked the video, like. If you didn't like the video, dislike. Subscribe to the channel for more VR tech. I see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.